Please be seated. Good afternoon and welcome to Huron's Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences graduate ceremony. We'd like to acknowledge the history of the traditional territory on which Huron operates. We'd also like to respect the long-standing relationships of the 3 local First Nations groups of this land and this place in southwestern Ontario. The 3 First Nations communities closest in proximity to Huron University College are the Chippewa of the Thames First Nation, part of the Anishinaabe, the Oneida Nation of the Thames, part of the Haudenosaunee, and the Munsee Delaware Nation, part of the Lenni Lenape. So delighted. This is a day that I've dreamed of for a long time. Some 5 years ago, we thought about a new building. We needed new space in Huron. We had wonderful new, very large classes of students coming in every fall, and the largest space we had at that time could only hold a couple of hundred people. Then this building was designed, and it took about 2 years to build, and then COVID happened, and now you are the first class ever to be able to be graduates in this wonderful ceremony. And after this ceremony, many of you will join us as we go over to Western as well for what we call the second half, the less important half, but still very nice at Western, and join us. And to your many family and friends, members who have traveled, in some cases from literally around the globe to be here, I just want to thank you so much for all of your support and all of your care for these graduates. You don't get to this place by yourself. The students graduating today have worked hard and they've earned every bit of it, but I'm sure they would be the first to say that they've also had a lot of help and support along the way. And so I want to thank you on behalf of these graduates for all of your support, and thank you for being with us. I want to introduce the members of the platform party, and starting from my right, Mr. Matson Kidamisi is President of Huron University College Student Council. Dan Smith, the Dean of the Faculty of Theology. And you'll hear from the next 2 people a little later on, but first, Mr. Timothy Duncanson, recipient of this year's honorary degree, Doctor of Divinity. Ms. Kathleen Taylor, also recipient of this year's degree, Doctor of Divinity. And Dr. Jeff Reed, Provost, Dean of the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. I'm also going to single out Jennifer Morocco, sitting in the front row, our registrar, who's going to be helping with the awards. And I'm going to ask our faculty members if they could please stand to be recognized as well, here to cheer on your success today. Thank you. Please be seated. Now, what we'll do is we'll have the honorary degree ceremony first, and we'll honor our 2 recipients, and then we'll move on to present various prizes to students and faculty, and then the climax of the ceremony is, of course, the recognition of you, our graduates, and that's what we sort of build towards as we go along. I'm going to ask if you please could stand, Tim Duncanson. And I read your citation. Timothy Duncanson joined the Department of Finance as Senior Advisor of the Deputy Minister on September 14, 2015. He was a department specialist on major files related to commercial transactions. Prior to that appointment, however, Mr. Duncanson was a Managing Director at Onyx Corporation, where he contributed to and led investments across very large industries, including industrial services, healthcare, and the environment. Mr. Duncanson has a BA, Honors in History from Huron University College, Master's in Public Policy from the John F. Kennedy School of Government, and an MBA from Harvard Business School. He holds a Chartered Financial Analyst designation. Before joining Onyx in 1999, Mr. Duncanson was an associate in mergers and acquisitions with Lazard Frères in New York, and an investment analyst at Mutual Asset Management in Waterloo. He serves as a lifetime member of the corporation at Huron University College, and he was previously chair of our executive board. His public company experience includes Cineplex Entertainment, the Tropicana in Las Vegas, and TMS International. While professionally, Tim has achieved great success, personally, he believes in paying success forward by giving back to his community. He raised significant money, and this was just when I had arrived as president of Huron and it came to my attention, as a participant in the True Love Patriot Scotia Bank expedition in 2016, where 9 injured soldiers and 17 Canadian business leaders embarked on a climb to the summit Vincent Massif, the highest peak in Antarctica and one of the world's 7 summits. Tim not only raised thousands of dollars, made the trek, but also gave personally this cause as well. But most notably for us, of course, is Tim's loyal support and dedication to Huron. A class of 1990 alumnus, while attending Huron, he was both HUCSC president and an athlete who received the Honorable G. Howard Ferguson Award for his athletic accomplishments at Western. He was the first recipient of the David H.M. Stewart Award at Huron, which recognizes a graduate student with the highest overall achievement in both academics and extracurricular activities. Upon graduation, Tim immediately began supporting Huron. Throughout the years, he has volunteered in countless ways. As I mentioned, he was chair of our board, served in the corporation, the governance committee, foundation trustee, the investment committee, the Medal of Distinction committee, the finance and audit committee. He applied for my job, but unfortunately he was too qualified and they gave it to me. In addition to his board roles, Tim has helped fundraise and pass campaigns, made connections, and opened doors for Huron's fundraising efforts. He's participated in multiple campaign assessments, but he's also an advocate for the liberal arts, a tremendous career in business, but it all began on the foundation of a BA here at Huron. He's provided numerous scholarships to students through the Duncanson Family Scholarship, and he was also the first significant donor to the Heart of Huron campaign and named the first space, the Duncanson foyer in this building, after him. Timothy Duncanson is an example of a leader with heart. Very successful in the business community, he's always been conscious of his responsibility to the rest of society. He's not content to sit on the sidelines, but over and again answers the call to get involved and make a difference. Timothy Andrew Robert Duncanson, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Vice Chancellor of Huron University College, I admit you to the degree Doctor Divinity Honoris Causa. Congratulations, Tim. And anybody who wants a photo? Oh, maybe we should step over here, brother. So. Now, Tim, I'm going to ask you to come over and sign your name in the Golden Book. This massive, thick book is every important person at Huron back to 1863 is signed when they're receiving an honorary degree or when royalty visits. And so today, both Tim and Katie will add their name to the list of distinguished visitors. And now I'm going to invite Mr. Duncanson, now Dr. Duncanson, to deliver the convocation address.
Thank you, Barry. President Craig, Dean Smith and Reed, parents, friends, especially graduands, thank you for the generous words in this honor. Hyperbole is always appreciated, Barry. Goes well. Being on stage with so many distinguished people, especially my honorary degree recipient, is humbling. I'm mildly sheepish about being recognized this way by an Anglican School of Divinity. You see, I am the son, grandson, and nephew of Presbyterian ministers. My dad, who is here, is an open-minded fellow, so I know he's gratified that I'm finally in the family business. He had no small part in this, since he taught me a passion for learning and showed me every day how to be kind to others. The other person who has been crucial in everything that Barry described is my wife, Christy. I can't overstate the importance of your partnership and support in success and failure. Your reminders of my fallibility are when things are going well, and your support when things aren't is something that keeps me on an even keel. Graduands, you will hear this a lot today, but you have shown great perseverance to finish your degrees during one of the most trying circumstances in a century. I hope you feel great pride. I'll admit I'm not used to being this far forward and close to a microphone. Most of my career was spent in private boardrooms and conference rooms, in the odd weird secure vault somewhere. I've been lucky in that regard. Working in a safe space is an advantage. Something I'd like to discuss. Every set of graduates has a set of challenges before them, and as you progress in your careers, you'll face them more directly. I remember clearly when I was in your shoes, the fall of communism in Eastern Europe, the acceleration of international trade, especially with China and India, and something called global warming that occupied our minds when I graduated from here. We've clearly left a few things for you to take care of. Active conflict in multiple regions of the world revealed flaws in our economies that ensconce inequity and inequality, disinformation and political polarization. As an active proponent, as Barry said, of a Huron education, I believe you have an important set of skills to face these challenges. Critical and analytical thinking supported by research, an appreciation of how society became what it is, being able to draw analogies across time, cultures, and disciplines. Most importantly, in my mind, though, a skill to use these tools in open debate, to hone an idea, and to clarify what you believe, and maybe convince someone else of the same. You've learned these things and developed these skills in a safe place, a university, and better yet, this particular one. At a recent event honoring Frank Holmes's contribution to this building, I was struck by a statement by a fellow classmate of yours. Matson Kitamisi spoke about the need of a place of shelter for students like you to develop the ideas to face the challenges of your generation. I may be extrapolating his use of the word shelter, but I choose to interpret it not only as a physical space, but also a protected space for the exchange of ideas and debate, difficult debate, emotional even, but not mean-spirited, not indifferent, and not dismissive. You're about to leave this place, and things will be different. You already know this from social media, but you will likely face it at graduate school or where you work. This isn't new. Back when I was around your age, Salman Rushdie's book, The Satanic Verses, precipitated a call for his death. Certain religious groups protested the movie The Passion of the Christ and even the Harry Potter books for their apparent glorification of witchcraft. But these objections to discussion and debate, even inconvenient facts, are proliferating on both sides of the political spectrum. Echo chambers of conspiracy theories on the political right grow to encompass large primetime news networks. Progressive voices are routinely decontextualized and ridiculed, and debate discussion is rarely attempted. In 2020, a data analyst, one of Obama's former staffers, David Shore, lost his job by tweeting a summary of an American Political Science Review article, which is one of the most distinguished political science journals out there. The study showed a positive correlation between nonviolent protests and the Democratic voting support. The problem was his tweet was timing. It was at the time of the much understandable outrage following the murder of George Floyd. So he lost his job. We've seen the author of those Harry Potter books denounced for what she has characterized as concerns about the intersection of women's rights and trans women's rights. In Canada earlier this year, we had a protest in Ottawa that was ugly, obstinate, and extraordinarily inconvenient. But it was largely nonviolent, in fact, predominantly, or not at all. There was no dialogue. The protest was said to contain unacceptable views, and the protest was dispersed with heavy-handed legislation. I'm by no means original in bringing this up. Margaret Atwood, Malcolm Gladwell, David Frum, Salman Rushdie all published a letter with 150 others in Harper's, a letter on justice and open debate, where they lamented the tendency to, quote, dissolve complex policy issues in a blinding moral certainty. Barack Obama spoke about this in 2019. The world is messy. There are ambiguities. People who do really good stuff have flaws. As he continued, he clearly was trying to suggest that people need to find a common ground for discussion. To wit, people who are people who you are fighting may love their kids and share certain things with you. That's common ground. This brings me to what I believe this means for you. As you leave this place, you are increasingly going to be dealing directly with your generational challenges. I believe you may not feel the social and political latitude to speak your opinion, to make a reasoned argument without fear of being silenced or canceled. You will need to be courageous when it counts. By when it counts, I mean you'll have to pick your battles. If your partner asks if they look good in a particular outfit before heading out for the evening, the answer is yes, always yes. But maybe years from now, you'll be in a situation you absolutely disagree with a decision or course of action. And it matters. It's controversial, and it will affect people's lives. You will need the courage to speak. Please do. You may just build some shelter for someone. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those words, Tim. And now, Kathleen Taylor, I'd ask you to stand as I read the citation. Kathleen Katie Taylor is chair of the board of the Royal Bank of Canada. She has served on the board since 2001, where she's chaired the Human Resources and Corporate Governance Committees, served in the Audit and Risk Committees. She made history in 2013 when she became the first woman to lead the board of a major Canadian bank. Ms. Taylor lives in Toronto with her husband Neil, who is here with us, and has 3 grown children. And 2 of her children, Robin and Taylor, are proud Huron alumni. Taylor was a recipient last year of the 2021 Young Alumni Award. Ms. Taylor earned her BA from the University of Toronto in political science, and a law degree from Osgoode Hall. She has been awarded honorary doctorates from the Schulich School of Business, the University of Toronto, McGill University, Trent University, and Mount St. Vincent University. All of those honorary doctorates, of course, were simply preparatory for this one. Outside of her role at RBC, Katie Taylor also serves as chair of Altus Partners, a Toronto-based private equity investment firm. She sits on the board of Air Canada, the vice chair of the Adecco Group, and is a director of the Canada Pension Plan Investment Board. She has been inducted in the Canadian Marketing Hall of Legends and was named one of Canada's most powerful women by the Women's Executive Network 4 times. A report on Business Magazine named Ms. Taylor among the 50 most powerful people in Canadian business. In 2016, she was made a member of the Order of Canada and was appointed in 2021 the chair of the Governor General's Leadership Conference. In addition to her professional accomplishments, Ms. Taylor is extremely active in the community and gives generously with both her time and her money. Currently, she is a member of the Board of Trustees for the Hospital for Sick Children and co-chair of the Sick Kids Capital Campaign. She served as chair of the board of directors at Sick Kids Foundation from 2014 to 2020. Ms. Taylor and her husband Neil Harris, who, as I say, is here with us, lead their private foundation, the Harris Taylor Family Foundation, which has provided grants to countless organizations across Canada. Alongside the philanthropy of the Family Foundation, Katie and Neil also provide substantial personal support to education, social services, and healthcare in Canadian communities. Katie has been a prominent advocate for the advancement of women in the corporate world, and that's, I think, probably the first time she came to my attention even before I arrived at Huron. As she said in an interview in Bloomberg News, "I've said many times, Canada is a small country. We can't afford to have half the team sitting on the bench. Getting women more engaged in our business at all levels, including the C-suites and our board, is a very, very important task." And she has been a relentless advocate for women's advancement in the business world. She's taken the opportunities and the talents that she's received in this life and not only achieved great success in business, but also worked tirelessly to create a better society in Canada. 3 years ago, maybe 4, it was before COVID, I remember, we met for coffee one day at the library bar at the Royal York, and I broached to Katie the idea of awarding her with an honorary degree from Huron. It's because I believe she could be a role model for you, our students, one that you could do well to emulate. To lead with heart is never to forget that you, as a citizen and as a human being, have an obligation to care for others. Kathleen Patricia Taylor, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Vice Chancellor of Huron University College. I admit you to the degree Doctor of Divinity, honoris causa. Congratulations, Kitty. Katie, I'll invite you to come over and sign the Golden Book as well. And now invite Dr. Taylor to make her remarks.
Thank you, President Craig, for that very, very lovely introduction. When I need my resume plumped next, I know who to call. President, esteemed faculty and staff, graduates, family, and friends. I am, like Tim, a very proud and very grateful recipient of the Honorary Doctorate of Divinity bestowed upon us by Huron University today. And I'm simply delighted and very excited to have the chance to join the celebration of the graduating class of 2022. And congratulations, Tim, and thank you for your wise and wonderful address. I couldn't agree more with your points around courage and communication. Graduates, take a good look around you today. Be very, very, very present and take some time to celebrate everything you've accomplished. During your time here at Huron, you've learned so much through your studies, and you've learned a lot about yourselves and about one another. Despite all that, my message is a simple one. Today is not the end of your learning journey. It's not even the beginning of the end. In the words, in fact, of the famous Winston Churchill, it is perhaps only the end of the beginning. So whether your next stop is grad school, fabulous international travel, or the start of your career, you're going to be called upon over and over again, as Tim mentioned, in the years ahead, to develop new skills, to think critically, analytically, to expand your learning, and to contribute meaningfully to your success and the success of the people around you. Your leadership journey, enabled through lifelong learning, will lead you to incredible places, some of which are unexpected and, quite frankly, quite unimaginable today. I am definitely living proof of that. Growing up, I had virtually no role models. I had no line of sight to great opportunity. I was from a small community, and up till then, no one in my family, and in fact, very few in my small town, had ventured beyond high school. But my university years inspired in me equal parts curiosity and courage. So I could ask questions and then question those answers, and became increasingly fascinated by the world around me. All of this led, of course, to a global career in hotel development and hospitality, where I learned how much the rest of the world has to teach us. And now, in the current chapter of my portfolio life, I have the chance and the privilege to help build a stronger and more inclusive country through a focus on business and community. But now it's your turn. You leave Huron University, as two of our children did many years ago, with even greater advantages than my generation. You're more worldly. You're much better informed. You're digital natives who are intensely aware of the challenges facing our country and the world. And you come by that awareness very honestly. Let's face it, the last 2 years have not been what any of us could have hoped for or expected for you. What was supposed to be your bubble of time was finding a balance between early morning lectures and late night revelry, creating lifelong friendships, and sometimes finding great loves, was harshly interrupted by the pandemic and more. And the demands of the real world poured in. You had to make hard choices about school, family, and friends, and manage risk in ways that none of us would have thought possible. But so many of the qualities that got you here today and landed you successfully with your degrees, qualities like accountability, empathy, resilience, adaptability, and love of learning, they're the very ones you're going to need to become the leaders of tomorrow. The next few years will present you with numerous opportunities and your fair share of challenges. And I encourage you to move through those years with equal parts humility and confidence. As Canadians, we are well known for our humility, and in my view, it is a key ingredient of successful modern leadership. But so too is confidence. Looking at my CV today, which you got to hear in a very fulsome way from your president, you might find it hard to imagine that I look back and wish that I'd had more confidence over the years, but I did, and I still do. And so one simple trick I learned along the way is to never ask if you're ready to do a job. Instead, rely on your brain, your energy, on the analytical and research skills you hone so well here at Huron. Rely on your resilience. And don't ask if you're qualified to do something. Ask yourself if you can learn it. And since the answer to that second question, can I learn it, is almost always yes, take the leap, grab the risk, take hold of that opportunity, and get on with learning everything you need to learn to be super successful in a new role. Will you have setbacks? Absolutely. Did I? Absolutely. None of them appeared on that resume. But I know from experience that the best learning often comes from failing, pivoting, and trying again. And if you repeat that cycle over and over, confident in your learning ability, you will end up accomplishing more than you ever thought possible. But please, please, please don't leave that quest for a life of leadership through learning in your office or on your laptop. There's so much more you can do. In my way of thinking, if you participate in the economy, you participate in society. So take that mantra of leadership through learning and go make positive change in the world. Go out and learn the 4 A's of truth and reconciliation: awareness, acknowledgement, atonement, and action. And then find ways in your daily lives to support the interests of our Indigenous colleagues. Learn how to turn the dial on climate change, not just through the lens on the necessary greening of our energy supply, but also through the lens on the changes that we must make personally, from what we eat, to what we drive, to what we wear, and how we live. In the end, we need to be the change we'd like to see. And of course, be champions for change in all aspects of diversity, equity, and inclusion, by understanding the root causes and intersectionality of racial and social inequity, and then helping lead us as a country to a future where everyone feels a true sense of opportunity and belonging. And although that's just a short list, I know it sounds overwhelming. But if we learn anything from the past couple of years, it's that everyday actions do matter, that personal leadership does matter. So in whatever next exciting path you choose, find ways to advance both your professional and personal leadership through a commitment to lifelong learning. Before I close, I'll just say one thing about community. You're here today because of a community that cares very, very much about you, as did mine. My husband, as you heard, joins me here today. Your community is made up of family and friends, teachers and caregivers who see your potential and who know that your presence on earth makes their worlds better. Be eternally grateful for that support and always find ways to pay it forward for others in your lives. As your leadership journey progresses, many questions are going to grow in importance, like where can you make the biggest impact in your career? How can you make the greatest impact for good in your community? The journey and the answers are not always obvious and are usually not easy. And like life, they will evolve over time. But your exploration and quest for learning will take you to incredible places, as it did for me. And so, in this next exciting chapter of whatever it is you choose to do, I wish you an abundance of good health, happiness, courage, curiosity, resilience, and success. Thank you so much. Congratulations, graduates, and have a fabulous day of celebration with friends and family.
Well, you all have this in common with Tim and Katie. You've all been given great gifts and opportunities, be that small proportion of all the people who have ever lived on earth to have a post-secondary education, You all have great ability, obviously intellectually, to succeed here at a school like Huron. And then layer on top of it what both Tim and Katie have in common: tremendous drive and work ethic, both in good times and in bad times. And then the final element they have in common is the one we wish all for you, and they both mentioned this: it's to give back and to pay forward. Take those talents you've had, the hard work that you add up on top of that, and see how you can make a difference in the world. Your own ambition and your dreams for yourself are important, but what will be remembered long after your time is the impact you've made on others. And so for both Tim and Katie, the words you've gathered, I hope inspire all of us today. Thank you very much. We now move to the presentation of awards, various we have for students and faculty. And if we call your name, we'll ask you to come forward up on the stage and be recognized. The first one we have is a Sharon McKillop Residence and Student Life Award. And Sharon, why don't you come on up and join me on the stage for this, and I'll ask you to present. The Sharon McKillop Residence and Student Life Award is presented annually to a student for their outstanding contribution to residence life and for exemplifying responsible leadership. The award is made possible thanks to the generosity of Sharon McKillop, and this year's recipient is Noaf Nubat. Please come on. I'll invite now our Provost, Dr. Jeff Reed, to present the next two awards.
Thank you, Dr. Craig. Each year, Huron presents the Gold Medal for Proficiency in the Honors Programs, either in the four-year Bachelor of Arts or the Bachelor of Management and Organizational Studies, to the graduating student with the highest average. This year's medal goes to Matthew Robert Chasmar, who is a graduate of our Bachelor of Arts 4 years honors program with an honors specialization in political science and the Scholars Electives program. In addition to the gold medal, Matthew will also receive the Caleb J. Hayhoe Award for gold medal students, which is a monetary award made possible by Mr. Hayhoe, himself a gold medal winner in 1985. And Matthew is also our Gonfalon bearer, both for today's ceremony here at Huron and across the street at Western. Matthew, please come forward. Each year, Huron also presents the gold medal for proficiency in the four-year program to the graduating student with the highest average in that program. Sydney Stewart is the winner of this year's medal. Sydney is graduating with a major in psychology and a minor in English for teachers, and like Matthew, she will also receive the Caleb J. Hayhoe Jr. Award for gold medal students. Please come forward, Sydney.
Thank you, Dr. Reed. David H.M. Stewart Award, which Tim Duncanson won almost 200 years ago, was established by Ms. Gail Lockyer in honor of her father to recognize the highest academic excellence and extracurricular engagement in a member of the Huron graduating class. This year's recipient of the David M. Stewart Award is a graduate from our Bachelor of Arts 4 years honors specialization in psychology with a major in history, Scholars Elective program. And this award winner is Urvi Maheshwari. Urvi, please come forward. Delighted to see Irvi's parents, my friends who made it all the way here from New Delhi, have joined us today as well. Finally, it's a pleasure to recognize one of our faculty members retiring this year after a long 3-decade career at Huron, and that is Dr. Neil Brooks, who is retiring. He's an associate professor in English and Cultural Studies. Dr. Brooks, please join me at the front of the stage to be recognized. This is a note to all faculty members. During the year that you retire, to get an ovation like that, just give out A's. That helps. Each year, Huron Student Council selects a faculty member to receive its award for outstanding teaching. And I'm going to ask Matson to join, and please rise and present this award. This year's HUCSC Outstanding Teaching Award recipient is Dr. Christine Sang of Psychology. Dr. Sang, please join us at the front of the stage to receive this award. And now it gives me great joy to come to that part of the ceremony when we're going to ask every member of the graduating class to come forward. They'll walk across the stage when their name is called by our orator, Dr. Jeff Reed. Your hood will be donned. You'll symbolically mark the completion of your undergraduate year at Huron. We'll present you with a Huron pin. We always give incoming students a Huron pin at the start of first year. And it's always my hope that there is some student who has managed to not lose it after 4 entire years. But just in case, we're going to present them with a new Huron pin today. And so I will stand here in the center. We'll present the Huron pin after Dr. Reed calls you to come forward.
Matthew Robert Jasmar, Irvi Maheshwari, Huda Ahmed, Brianna Nicole Arundine, Jespal Singh Bassi, Annie Madeline Boss, Louisa Laureen Connolly, Aislinn Connor, Cree Ireland Morgan Davis, Alden Akins, Kaylee Elisa Fishback, Nathaniel Clark Frisbee. Claudia Johanna Gallant, Jordan Ann Hahn, Perry Isabella Hayes, Juhan Mohammed, Andrew Timothy Leishman, Yuchats Lai, Varuna Kalyan Kumar, Liz Ann Hills, Serena Kirshen, Christopher Adam Kapaginas, Arjun Iser, Max Gerlach, William Yi-Ming Gao, Spencer Evan Cohen, Abdullahi Abdihalim, Ange Zhang, Brenda Yu, Jihao Zhu, Jacob Christian Vanderhoven, Matthew William Tiplady, Dylan Kyle Jonathan Stacker, Bella Pick, Dylan West, Mackenzie Warnock, Angela Terran, Amy Smith, Jacinta Silvera Vojtovich, Sarah Jane Shelton, Pulkit Sharma, Yino Kyang, Rita Uyang, Thomas Michael Muhaljevich, Georgia Mara McLean, Sylvia Liu, Wei Liao, Elsa Lee, Ethan Kalbach, Elizabeth Grace Hind, Doa Halden Beelen, Elizabeth Irene Marion Greenfield, Ella Elizabeth Giacomelli, Hayden Fisher, Christopher Brummeler Chettelberg, Guyu Chen, Julian Aaron Zelig Berger, Gunadehe Brown, Allison Victoria Brown, Halvinder Singh Basi, Joseph Christian Awaraji, Emma Veronica Anderson, Angela Zhu, Fan Yang, Juan Liu, Edmund Scott Robert Littler, Maria Helen Leofanti, Mason Lang, Dillian Lamaka, Aryan Himanshu Kudav, Francesca Amelia Coaches, Manik Khanna, Asad Kadra, Claudia Marie Jones, Grace Alexander Jeffrey, Rohan Kumar Jain, Matthew R. Hoogstein, Eden Dylan Sheila Taylor. Sydney Hope Stewart. Leah Felicia Smith. Mitchell John Rudman. Kathleen Elizabeth Ruffy. Yuen Chin. Kevin Lee Powell. Curtis Christopher William Paulson. Nicholas Gregory Farrand Onoprienko. Okay. Nawaf Nuimat. Caitlin Monroe. Madeline Frances Morsut. Mingel Mikevi Kute. Simran Kaur Man. Imran Hemani. Hao Guo. Luc Philippe Druyard. Epak Aiden. Noah Axelrod. Namra Mudir Amrohi. Andrew Stokes. Peikin Zhu. Yaning Zhang. Suyeda Faiza Zaki. Zishi Yuan. Yinshu Wang. Huhua Tian. Cameron Elliott Wong. Ian Jeffrey Witten. Eaton Wang. Michael Ross Villan. Megan Payne. Pranto Paul. Reem Bassam Usman. Carson John McLaren. Ji Lin. Spencer Camden Jones. Marvel Itemwagbor. Jiali Hua. Alexandra Mary Antonick. Emily Linda Saunders. Yi Liu. Tony Baby Kenneth.
In a few minutes, you will experience a much more decorous graduation across the street, where every 5 minutes they announce no cheering from family and friends. We completely encourage cheering from family and friends here. The class of 2022. Wonderful. What a joyous and glorious day this has been. And as we come to the end of the ceremony, I just want to make a couple of really brief remarks. It's many of you I met on move-in day. Some of you I met and actually recruited at schools in Toronto or in Beijing or in New Delhi. And you've been every bit the wonderful students that I'd hoped you would be when we welcomed you to Huron. You know, we are trying to do something different here, and that is not only provide you with good education, but encourage you to become great citizens in Canada or anywhere you are around the world, to really be leaders with heart. And I know you've heard that phrase, and it sounds like a cliche, but you will become leaders in your various careers, in your various communities, but we want you to have that with heart part, to be empathetic, caring people, people that can make a difference in the world. If you only turn out to be successful, and you don't think of others, I'll consider we've failed. But if you think of others, no matter what the level of your success might be in the world, I'll consider we've succeeded. We want you to be caring people, love others, and lead the way that Katie and Tim have in their lives. And so as we come to the end of our ceremony, I want to thank all of the people that have helped you get to this point, your family, your friends, our faculty, our staff, people that helped today, Jen Morocco, our registrar, Bill Lupton playing the piano for us over there. Communications team, the events team, housekeeping and maintenance, the dining hall teams, Siobhan Koo and Ann Turvey, and again, everybody who has helped you. And keep this in mind because you have countless opportunities going forward to help others. This brings us to the end of our ceremony, and I'm going to ask the audience to remain in your seats until the academic procession has left the room. We're going to ask graduates to join us outside around the turning circle for a class photo. If it's raining, and I'm sure you'll be able to tell, if it is, then we'll do it in the student commons. So we're going to process outward. You'll join us out, and then, of course, we'll see many of you again across the street at Western's Convocation at 3 o'clock.
Let's do it, yeah.